Hi, I'm Katie. This is my 2500 Ram Promaster named Junie. I bought Junie a year ago as an empty cargo van and built her out into my dream home. Come check her out. One of my favorite parts about the van and something that I wanted to create was a nice spot to work because I work full-time from the road. And so I built in and installed a swivel seat with a swing-up table. So this is where I work a lot of days and I can look out at the view and it's really nice. I like to spend most of my time outside in the wilderness, and that's not always realistic. So I have this pocket door here that my friend and I built in for privacy and safety. When I'm in a city, I can block off the door and block off the back of the van, which allows it to feel more secure and safe. Yeah, and the reason this makes me feel safer is that no one can see in. And when I leave the van for pockets of time, it makes it look a little bit more like a utility van or something because you can't peer in and see my life back here, which is important. I refer to this part of my van as the garage. And most ProMasters have this storage space, which is really cool because it's actually set in. So you can put things in and it won't slide out when you're driving. So I just put a scarf here, but I have all my tools in here, shade pieces, a slack line, binoculars, and that's where I keep my bourbon and tequila because it won't fall out anywhere. I had a dream of doing van life about 9 or 10 years ago. I started seeing photos and I'm like, wow, those people are so cool. And about 3 years ago, I realized that I wanted that dream to become a goal. And I'm like, no, I want to do that too. And the reason is because I started getting into climbing more and backpacking, and I really enjoyed the person that I was when I was doing those things, even more than when I was in a high rise or something like that. And I didn't want to come back from it. And so when I spend time outside, I'm a better version of me. I'm a more authentic version of me. And so it just started to feel like it wasn't optional anymore. One of the things that I really wanted to do in my build was have a space for my hang-up clothes. So I really like fun pieces, as you can see here. And so I wanted a space to be able to highlight them and be able to access them and wear them. And I initially thought about putting up a door here. And then once I hung it up, I just liked the way it looked. And so I've kept it like this and I try to merchandise it a little bit so it feels tidy and kind of cool. So this is my closet. And then I also built in this drawer that slides open. It's got socks and undergarments and bathing suits and all of that in there, which is kind of nice. And then I just have like storage here. And then I built, this is really important for me, is I like to climb things. And so I built in a space for the crash pad. Fits in perfectly right here. So I am not a professional cabinet builder. So I bought cabinets at Lowe's and then sanded them down. They were white and then I painted them this color. So you'll see those throughout the build and it was really useful to be able to do that. And so this is where I keep all my kitchen stuff. So this is my spices, utensils, and somewhat of a junk drawer. There's a place for my jewelry over here. Yeah, and this is where it's really helpful because the kitchen's right over here, which we'll see in a minute, and I can access all my spices and stuff to cook. Below it is where I keep all of my pots and pans and cups and things like that. If you want to do this and you're thinking about van life, first thing, it can remain a dream, and that's okay. There's a difference between a dream and a goal, right? I dreamt about this for a long time before I transitioned it into action and actually taking steps to do it. So just know that if you want to just dream about it, that's cool. And if you want to make it happen, you need to transition it into a goal. Like, what are steps you can start taking? I personally had financial privilege in having my own company, and I have financial security in that way. So I was able to save some money and fairly easily to do that. not everybody has that luxury. So thinking about what that means for you and what are small steps that you can take now to make your goal a reality. I love to cook, and one of the things I wanted to bring forward coming from an apartment to a van was space to do that. So I have a 2-burner propane stove, it's Thermomate, and I have this swing up table that allows me to prepare and cook. We put space in between the burner and the sink to be able to put spices and things like that. And this is my sink. This is a Rivati sink. It's 15 inches and it's really cool because it has a cutting board and a built-in strainer, which allows me to have a pretty deep sink and do dishes and things like that, which is fun. I mean, not really that fun, but important. And then I got a faucet that swivels around so I can rinse off outside if I need to, and it has a sprayer, which is kind of nice. I have my fridge down here and also all my cleaning supplies, my gray water tank, my propane tank, fire extinguisher because safety never takes a vacation, and some cleaning supplies. I got a Dometic fridge for the van. It's a 120 fridge, so it plugs into a 120 outlet. But there's tons of space and a freezer, and I like to have ice cream on a hot day or ice for drinks and frozen fruit. So I really like this fridge, and I'm glad I got the bigger one. This is my extra counter space in butcher block. Obviously this can't stay here when you're driving, but it's nice when you're parked. The cool thing about it is it doubles as a bathroom. So in here, this lifts up and hooks up here, and these doors open, and this is my bathroom. So I have a Nature's Head composting toilet, which is fantastic and worth the money. No smell, and very easy to take care of and clean when you need to. And having a bathroom in here was something that was a priority for me, for safety, for convenience, and when you're in spots when you don't have access to a toilet. So this is a piece of art that I bought in Salida, Colorado, and it just spoke to me about kind of the reason I'm doing van life, and I'm really able to connect with myself, and you spend a lot of time in your own company. So I really like this here. It reminds me of kind of what I'm doing and to take care of myself along the way. And then you don't have a lot of room in a van, and something I love are fun pieces. And so earrings are a big thing for me, and I think they're beautiful and they're kind of an art piece. And so I wanted to figure out a way to display them as art and be able to see them all, so I remember to wear them. So this is my custom made earring holder that I love, and it reminds me to wear all these fun things. The cabinets and the color were really important to me. I picked out this color because it reminds me of a juniper berry, and the name of Junie is Juniper. Junie is her nickname. And so I picked out this color and I really liked it. And I like how it really brings the van together in a feminine way, which I really wanted to bring to the vibe. Yeah, so you open these up and this is all my food that doesn't need to be refrigerated. And all my cabinets are on a magnet. On this side of the upper cabinets, we have more clothes. So we've got shirts and pants, lots of fun pieces again, and it doesn't normally look this organized. I folded them all to look this good for the tour, but usually things are a little bit more in disarray, but here you go. So something I really wanted to create was a dynamic space, because I live and work full time, and I didn't want my bed to be static. I wanted to be able to put my bed away. I wanted to be able to have bench space and host and have people over to eat, to play games, all of that. And I was following an Instagrammer for a few years named Flit Fly Float Away. Her name's Lauren in the Penny Bago. And she had the best layout I'd ever seen. And so I was inspired to take parts of that I really liked and make a dynamic space of my own. And so what I want to show you now are the benches. So the bench system is here. They all lift up and work as storage. And the bed swings up and down. And here what you'll see is space for a table. So 2 table legs screw in and the table pops on, which makes it really fun for games and having people over and eating or working. So we drilled a hole in the bench top so it was easy to lift up. And so underneath here is the electrical system. And I put a tarp here and with a Velcro to try to waterproof it a little bit. So this peels back, and I mostly have Victron equipment as well as battle-borne batteries. So I have 200 amp hours of lithium batteries. I have a DC to DC converter as well as a solar charger because I have solar panels on the top. And this is my inverter that's mounted up here. Okay, in this bench, same setup to be able to lift it up, but this is kind of a fun storage box. So we've got games in here, wigs, which are just fun for dance parties or if you just want to have some fun. And then I also have fun pants in here, shoes, extra clothes. I have a bin in here that I call my city clothes, which are things that you normally only wear in a city. Yeah, but you can just see like shoes. Oh yeah, and roller skates. So these are a few things I got out of storage after being in the van for a while, and I realized I really miss some of these fun elements that I had in a home. And so I traded out some regular clothes and regular things for things that light me up a little bit. One of the scariest parts of any build out is cutting into a perfectly good van. And cutting in these windows was scary, but absolutely worth it. They are from a company called RV Windows. They open up and there's a screen, and then they open up actually the whole way, which is really nice. On this side of the bench is all my adventure gear, which is kind of a lot, so it needed its own space. So if you lift up, there's climbing ropes in here, climbing shoes, harness, chairs, chalk bag, I mean really tents, everything like that I need to go on fun adventures, which is really important. In here is my 20-gallon water tank and my hose. There is a water pump over here, and there's an external fill. So this is 20 gallons, which is plenty for me for a while, and it feeds into my sink and works like a regular sink, which is really nice. My favorite part about van living is connections, are the connections that I make. That includes the connections with myself, because you have to like really enjoy your own company or notice why you don't. Connections with other people, as well as connections with the land and nature. I find myself just noticing things in a different way. I look at the sky more, I have deeper conversations with people, I journal more, and I think when we get out of the vibration of a city, we're allowed to create space and quiet, and that's when we start to connect more. And I really, really appreciate that part of living in a van. One of my absolute favorite parts about this build is the Murphy bed. So this is great because I can just put my bed up when I am done sleeping, and I don't have to worry about people sitting on my bed if they come for a visit. And so a couple details I want to highlight about this. One is, like I said, I like to climb, and we used a personal anchor system and carabiners to just add a little personal touch to the van. But it's very easy to put up and down. The way that you do it is you just take the pillows off of the bench. It's pretty easy. I lean the other pillows up, which is pretty easy. Start over here, unclip one. It can hold this on its own. Unclip another, and then slowly lower. Ta-da! This is the bed space, and it's a full-size bed. It's actually a 6-inch mattress topper, memory foam. And it feels a lot bigger than that once you have the cushions up. I wanted a really cozy sleep space. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, or I just want to hang out and read or watch a movie. And so this, with the twinkle lights, it can set a whole vibe. And it's really nice just to hang out in here, and I sleep like a rock, which is really important. This area up here, if you've built out a van, you know, is a little tricky to trim. And I just decided to cover it with stickers, magnets, and photos that I care about. So there's photos of me and my friends, and there's a little bit of wool right here. This is my soulmate in canine form who went over the rainbow in December. So Cosmo didn't get to experience Junie 2.0 once I built her out, but he spent some time with me in Junie 1.0, which was special. Right here is a WeBoost. What this does is it boosts your cell signal. There's an antenna that runs outside the van. So whatever cell signal you have, it boosts that signal. So if you have 0 signal, it doesn't boost 0, but if you have some signal, it'll make it stronger. This is a switch that we installed for various things, including cabin lights and the fan and the blower. So, oh, there goes the fan. The blower is in place, which is connected to the Nature's Head composting toilet. There's a hole in the bottom of the van, and it just keeps air circulating, which is really important. We've got USB and a 12-volt here. And then this is a battery reader. So this is through Victron. It just tells me where my batteries are and how much percentage they have left. And a remote for my Max Air fan. Thanks for hanging out with me and Junie. And if you want to follow along with our adventures as well as other things, you can do so on Instagram. It's at Kati Ryan, Katiryan. See ya.